Where did this mountain come from? Oh, people buried. And there was a great and terrible destruction in the land southward. And behold, there was more great and terrible destruction in the land northward. For behold, the whole face of the land was changed, because of the tempest, and the whirlwinds, and the thunderings, and the lightnings, and the exceedingly great quaking of the whole earth. And the highways were broken up, and the level roads were spoiled, and many smooth places became rough. So think about that. They had their ways of traveling, these roads, and all of a sudden, untravelable. Think about if that were us now. And many great and notable cities were sunk, and many were burned, and many were shaken till the buildings thereof fell to the earth, and the inhabitants thereof were slain, and the places were left desolate. That means nobody lived there anymore. And there were some cities which remained, but the damage thereof was exceedingly great, and there were many in them who were slain. And there were some who were carried away in the whirlwind. Ooh, by Tom. And whither they went no man knoweth, save they know that they were carried away in the wind. And thus the face of the whole earth became deformed, because of the tempests, and the thunderings, and the lightnings, and the quaking of the earth.
Did you hear Mom say, bye, Tom?
Mm-hmm. And behold, the rocks were rent in twain. They were broken up upon the face of the whole earth, insomuch that they were found in broken fragments, and in seams, and in cracks upon the face of the land. You guys getting the picture? Broken earth, okay? Everywhere. And it came to pass that when the thunderings, and the lightnings, and the storm, and the tempest, and the quakings of the earth did cease, for behold, they did last for about the space of 3 hours. So all that we just described, that wasn't like over months and years like 2020 has been. It was in 3 hours. Cities buried in the earth, cities become mountains. And it was said by some that the time was greater. Nevertheless, all these great and terrible things were done in the space of 3 hours. And then behold, there was darkness upon the face of the land. And it came to pass that there was thick darkness upon all the face of the land, insomuch that the inhabitants thereof who had not fallen, so if you didn't die, they could feel the vapor of darkness. You could feel it, like thick darkness, like a cloud, okay? And there could be no light because of the darkness, neither candles, neither torches, neither could be fire be kindled with their fine and exceedingly dry wood. So there could not be any light at all. So this darkness was so thick, you couldn't light a match. You couldn't do anything. Just darkness right in your eyeballs, okay? And there was not any light seen, neither fire nor glimmer, neither the sun nor the moon nor the stars, for so great were the mists of darkness which were upon the face of the land. And it came to pass that it did last for the space of 3 days, that there was no light seen. And there was great mourning and howling and weeping among all the people continuing. Can you imagine that? That much darkness for 3 straight days?
That'd be crazy.
Great were the groanings of the people because of the darkness and the great destruction which had come upon them. They missed Tom. And in one place they were heard to cry, saying, Oh, that we had repented before this great and terrible day. And then would our brethren have been spared. They would not have been burned in that great city Zarahemla. And in another place they were heard to cry and mourn, saying, Oh, that we had repented before this great and terrible day, and had not killed and stoned the prophets, and cast them out. Then would our mothers and our fair daughters and our children have been spared, and not have been buried up in that great city Moronihah. And thus were the howlings of the people great and terrible. That's the end of chapter 8.